Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the West Northamptonshire series, one of the 2 districts that make up the county of Northamptonshire. With 166 parishes, there's a lot to get through. Let's cross another one off. Hello everybody. It's quite cool this morning, which is a really good thing.
Blessed relief.
Yeah, it is, because these last couple of days it's been really, really warm and we've coped.
Uncomfortably warm.
We've coped, but this is so much nicer, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm powered by the coffee I haven't got yet.
We will do though.
We've got some lovely cloud cover.
Yeah.
I was actually feeling on coming down here in the car, had the window open, and it actually, believe it or not, felt a little bit cold.
Yeah, it's just nice. Now, speaking of nice, we're back in West Northamptonshire for the first time since at some point last year. May last year, I think, on the way down to Kent was the last time I was here. So hello people here in Northamptonshire. You have seen me before, but it's been a long time since I've been here. Today we've got Barby to explore. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Barby is about 5 miles north of Daventry in the district of West Northamptonshire and only 4 miles southeast of Rugby in Warwickshire. It's good to be back in the county. Barby is located just off the M45, a short spur from the M1 to the A45. The 2011 census recorded the parish population here as 2,336. Part of the parish boundary is also the county boundary with Warwickshire, some of this being Rains Brook, a tributary of the River Leam. The village is near the top of a hill that rises to 551 feet above sea level south of the village. Indeed, Barby's name derives from the Old Norse Bergbýr, which means hill dwelling. North of the village is a Norman motte and earthworks, which is often referred to as Barby Castle. In reality, it's the site of an early fortified manor house. The Oxford Canal was dug through the parish in the early 1770s, some 2 miles west of the village. The nearest wharf was at Willoughby. The Great Central Main Line also passed through the boundaries. The parish council is termed Barby and Onley. Onley is in the northwest of the parish and is an abandoned village, although it still plays a key role in the local demographic makeup. Now that might be confusing, but stick with us and you'll soon see what that's all about. Our journey around Barby begins at what I thought could well have been a pinfold in times past, although I didn't find anything to confirm that. Still, it's a nice spot. Here's the village's play area, and on the gate here we have a mention of the Barby Townlands charity, which can trace its roots back to the 19th century. The charity uses funds raised from the property it manages to provide grants to local organisations. Its assets are spread throughout the village. The play area is one of them, and it's leased to the parish council. Barby's village hall is next. The main hall sits at the back of this building and it can accommodate 130 people. This building is a former school. It was originally erected in 1865. Nikki does the honours with the parish notice board, and that's now 4 down in West Northamptonshire. Plenty more to go. This is a big county, you know. And once again in Northamptonshire we have thatched cottages. Definitely chocolate box this one, isn't it, Nikki? Yep. You might be able to see, I don't know if you can, on top of its porch there's a bird made out of the thatch as well. Our next plan was to use this footpath here to shortcut the road towards our next landmark. That was an epic fail. For some reason, this was closed, although there were no obvious reasons why. We did eventually find another way which didn't add too much walking onto the route. We're now in the churchyard at St Mary's Parish Church, which is a Grade 2 listed building. The oldest part of St Mary's is a Saxon window, which is to the west of the south doorway. The windows in the north wall of the chancel were inserted about 1300, which is when the west tower was built. There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and Nikki going off to find gravestones when we're in a churchyard.
Yeah, I like to have a look. Cemeteries to me, they tell a story.
Yeah, we've said that a few times, haven't we? Nikki took a liking to this grave here. We debated with ourselves as to how many people lie in it, given there are 4 stones. Sometimes it's not as obvious as it looks. The tower has a ring of 5 bells. 4 of them were cast in Leicestershire, the oldest of them dating to 1599. The remaining one came from the Whitechapel Bell Foundry in London. Since 1995, the village has been twinned with Vulaines-sur-Seine in France, which is not too far away from Paris. That fact is cemented thanks to this sign at the end of Church Walk, facing Daventry Road. Passing the green, we're coming to some more residential areas. Housing development in the 1960s here meant rapid growth. Further development in Barby is now limited. It's what's known as an infill-only village. This building has been a few things in its time, it seems. It has a plaque on the wall saying Memorial Hall 1914 to 1918. Given its architecture, this screamed Old Chapel to me. Now, if you need a bus to Barby, you can catch one from Rugby and from Daventry as well. And the bus number is the D1. And Nikki's trying the bus stop out. Is it good?
It's a bus stop, it works.
Does it do the job?
I don't know, I've not seen the bus yet.
Ah. Here's Barby's allotments. I'm keeping to my contractual obligations, keeping all the fans of these happy this week. These can be found right next to that bus stop. Next up, we're on the other side of the church where there's the War Memorial. This is known as the Barby Memorial Cross. It's in good nick, with some weathering but nothing too serious. There's a plaque on this tree right next to that. I cannot remember for the life of me what this was about. Maybe you Barby locals can fill in the blank in my memory there. Check these out for characterful properties. You don't see this everywhere, do you? Nikki's quite taken with the tin roof on this one. We think that might be a base for thatch, although we don't know because it's not our area of expertise, is it?
Let us know in the comments.
We thought this might have been an old mill. That's unlikely, although a small factory building next to the Memorial Hall has existed here since the 1950s. It was most recently a wood turning business. At the end of this residential area, we have one of Barby's biggest properties, Old Pinfold House. This is a unique period property with its earliest parts constructed in the 1640s. So Nikki is going to shortcut the route by going down this road here. I think it's called the Green. I'm going to meet her outside the village shop, which is just at the end of that road. And to do that, I'm going to go this way, turn left at the end and then left again. And I should meet her there in a moment or two. Barby's pub is called the Arnold Arms. At the time of filming, this was closed, although with to let boards up outside it, who knows, by the time this video goes out, it may be open again. Arnold is an important name in the village. The stables at Arnold House were where Owen McLaren designed the earliest models of the baby buggy in 1965. And just before we complete the main walk, we have a garage to see. Barby Garage is located up this small track off Rugby Road, and in front of it, there's a tennis court. And I've reconvened with the missus.
Trying out near the bench.
You like doing that, don't you? This is directly opposite the shop, which is right there, and the car is literally just down there. We haven't finished with this place just yet because there's a mill I still need to see, and there's also a cricket pitch. They're virtually together to the south of the village. We'll go and check those out in a moment, but you need today's picture bit first. Now let's address the lost village of Onley. It's your pretty bog-standard deserted medieval village. The earthwork remains lie either side of a stream that runs from south to west across the site. Onley does have a small population. There's a street named Onley Park. The only other way you can be a resident here is by being an inmate. Yes, that means there's a prison. In fact, there are two, HMP Ryehill and HMP Onley, and Rains Brook Secure Training Centre is here as well. The complex was used during and after World War II, firstly as a supply depot and then as a prisoner of war camp. HMP Onley is a Category C prison. Originally, it was a borstal in 1968 and became a young offenders institution in 1976. In 2004, Onley was identified as the most violent of its type in England and Wales. Ashley Walters, better known as the rapper Asher D, and none other than Tommy Robinson have had stints here. As for HMP Ryehill, that's a Category B prison, and since 2014 has only housed sex offenders. You rejoin us at the village stores where we left off before the picture bit. After calling in here for some very much needed morning coffee, it was on to the cricket ground next. Barby Cricket Ground is located on Longdown Lane, almost directly opposite an old windmill. The club plays in the Warwickshire League and has men's, women's and junior sides. When Barby's old village hall was demolished, some of the materials were used to build this very cricket pavilion on ground owned by the Townlands charity. And finally, Barby Windmill, which you can see over this field. It dates from the early 19th century and at 3 stories high became a Grade 2 listed building in the late 1980s. It's now a private home. It still retains its tower with a cap on the top. The mill is constructed of red brick and it stands near a private fishing lake called Mill Pool Fisheries. Okay, to finish this one off, the one thing I haven't caught yet is Barby's school. So on the way to the next village, the camera's going on the dash and I'll drive past it so you can see that as well. It will also catch the rest of the road from where I parked earlier down to this point here, so I don't miss it out. And yeah, that's been the parish of Barby, and I do hope you've enjoyed it. It's been good to be back in West Northamptonshire. There are 3 more still to come in this little run. Have you enjoyed Barby, missus?
Yeah, the sunglasses are on, so that means that the sun is coming out, so I'm glad we got this one done nice and early. Yeah, I like it. It's a lovely little place. Another one though, full of chocolate box houses where we have a dream to live in one, but unfortunately the bank balance won't allow it.
Not yet anyway.
No.
Oh well, we can dream.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this has been the parish of Barby, and I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.